So the shot across the bow is one of the best tools we've got in the pre-launch. It's fantastic if you have a new offer, something that you're launching that you've never launched before. It's a great way to find out what the people are thinking, what your prospects are thinking, and it's also a great way to get testimonials with what we call the testimonial cruncher. And hundreds, probably thousands of PLF owners have used this exact technique and have had huge success. Now, I don't use the shot across the bow in every single launch, but like I said, if you've just got a brand new offer, it can be super, super powerful. So the shot across the bow, it's an old naval term that's it would be used if a ship was like a warship was chasing down another ship at sea, and they were chasing them. They would shoot one of their cannon shots in front of the other ship and get it to land in front of the ship in the water. So just to basically say, hey, we mean business. So it's the shot across the bow. It's just that something that you better slow down because we want you to slow down. So we're sending a shot across your bow. It's basically a warning shot. And in this context, in the context of your launch, it's a warning shot to let your market, let your people know that something is coming. So, that's what the pre-launch is all about. It's about warming up the market before you actually start your launch. And a big part of this, especially the shot across the bow, a big part of the message is that you've got something that's almost ready. So I can't even be selling it yet, but it's almost ready and I'm excited about it. So the way this works, elements of the strategy include, for the shot across the bow strategy, is an initial email where you ask for help. It's a survey where you give just a little bit of information about your program and ask for feedback. This is the asking for feedback part. You ask for objections. Now, you don't actually say, what are your objections to this product? You ask about the top 2 questions about this topic. And I've got an examples for you. I'm going to show you how I do this. And then you ask them if they're interested, to get their name and email to get on a wait list. And then you gather testimonials. I'm going to show you how I do this. You gather testimonials with the testimonial cruncher. So that's the overall big picture view. So I'm going to walk you through an example. So this would be the email. Remember, this is that very first step. And this is back in the day when I was publishing about the stock market. And so if you don't know my story, for the first about 8 years that I had an online business, I was publishing about the stock market. And part of that, there's a couple of sub niches there, but one of them I published to short-term traders. And so this was the pre-launch, the shot across the bow for a new trading course. I have been selling subscriptions to email newsletters. That was my primary business, was selling subscriptions. But now I was actually going to come out with a course on this. And so this was the email. This was the start of my shot across the bow. So you see the subject line, which was quick announcement and a favor. That trader's update up here, that trader's update in the colon was all, that's how I put that in the subject of every single thing I sent out to my subscribers. And then it was just quick announcement and a favor. And that subject line's been used a lot over the years by my PLF owners. It tends to be a pretty effective one because it just says, hey, it's quick, there's something coming, and I'd love a favor. And it's sort of weird because if you have a relationship with people, asking for a favor can be very powerful for getting people to open their email, for getting their attention. And it's actually sort of creates a little reciprocity that you're asking for this. It's sort of weird that way, but it does. So the email is very simple. Hi there, Jeff Walker here. We'll be sending your traders update in just a little bit, but first I need to ask you a favor. We're really close to wrapping up our long-awaited training manual. We'll be releasing it in early January. So right here, in that second paragraph, I'm saying, hey, we just finished it. And by the way, it's long awaited, right? It's long awaited, and it truly was. And we're going to release it in January. So this right here just starts to set up, ideally, a little bit of anticipation that something's coming. But before we do, we have to ask you a couple of questions. Can you help us out? You can answer the questions here and get a little more detail in the trading manual at this link. So I'm promising, so I'm asking for a favor, which, who do you ask for a favor? You ask your friends for a favor, right? And so this is just hopefully building a little rapport. And then I ask for some help here. And then I say, oh, by the way, you're going to get a little bit more detail on this at this link. And then it's just this one simple email and send them to that link. So that was the way I did it. Let me show you a couple examples from PLF owners. So here is quick announcement and a favor. Look familiar? It's a great subject line. And I mean, you could change it a little bit. It could be something like a term that people like to use now instead of a favor is an ask. A quick ask. So the subject line could be a quick ask. It could be a quick announcement and an ask. Or it could be a give and an ask. It could be any one of those. But quick announcement and a favor has worked really, really well. And so this might look familiar. This was for a tennis product. Jim McClellan here. I'll be sending you more updates in just a little bit, but first I need to ask you a favor. I'm very close to finishing up my coursework for building the serve from the ground up. I've been working on this for the past 2 years, and we'll be releasing the product in early May. But before I do, I have to ask a couple of questions. Can you help me out? And there you go. If you look at it, it's basically the exact same email that I sent for my sport and resistance training manual. Let's look at another example. Quick announcement and a favor. Look familiar? Laura here. I'll be sending you more updates in just a little bit, but first I need to ask you a favor. We're really close to wrapping up our long-awaited updates to our business analyst essentials masterclass. But before we do, we have to ask you a couple of questions. Can you help us out? You can answer the questions and get a little more detail on the upcoming dates at this link. Now, in this one, the one thing I don't love that Laura did here is in this first paragraph, it's from Laura. I'll be sending you more updates, but first I need to ask you a favor. And then down here, it's we are really close. I would have made it I'm really close to wrapping up, but I can be, forgive me, I'm a little nitpicky when it comes to email copy, but otherwise it's essentially, again, the same email that you have here, and it worked for Jim and it worked for Laura. So let me show you what it looked like when people clicked on that link that I sent in my email. Here it went to a survey, which I use SurveyMonkey. I've been using SurveyMonkey since 2003. I've done literally hundreds of surveys in it. It's a good tool that I'm happy with, and I've been paying for it for a long time. I don't have an affiliate link. I don't have any relationship with them. There are other good survey tools. You could see up here that Laura used Survey Gizmo. So that's another one that's out there that people use. You can also use Google Forms. That's a free tool from Google. I've never used it. I've got no experience with it, but I know people that have used it and are happy with it. So using these survey tools is not hard. Anyone can figure this stuff out. It's super easy. So here, this is basically people clicked on that link, back up here. Here was that email that simple email I sent. And then here they clicked on that link, they ended up here. And so in this copy, I'm just going to go through this copy with you, because in this copy, I did try to build up anticipation for the trading manual. So this isn't just about getting survey responses. It's about getting people excited about what we have coming. So it's hi, we're very close to finishing our long-awaited training manual. It's basically, I said the same thing in the email, but that's okay. We have literally been working on this for more than 4 years now, which that is true, and I can't believe it took me 4 years to finish this project. But I've told you in the past, I've told you earlier that I can be a perfectionist, and I was definitely a perfectionist back then when I did this, and I wouldn't make that same mistake again. I wouldn't make that mistake now, but Hopefully I'm older and wiser now. So anyways, we've been working on this for 4 years, but we're finally going to wrap it up. We'll be releasing it in early January. So this is just trying to set it up. Now here I talk a little bit about the actual course. The course will be entirely focused on support and resistance, which, it's just a technical trading term, and it's something that we specialized in when we were publishing in this market. It will include 2 printed manuals, 8 audio CDs, 1 computer-based video tutorial CD. It's going to be a complete brain dump of everything that Mike and I know about support and resistance. Now, another little caveat here. The course is basically done at this point. It was basically done at this point, but I wouldn't make that mistake again. I would have sent this out a little earlier before it was completely done to gather the information that we're gathering in this course. So continuing on down here, we're going to cover all the ways that we use to generate our support and resistance zones, and we're going to show you exactly how we trade those zones. So this is a little bit of sales copy ahead of the fact. However, we need your help. Before we finalize everything and send it off to the printer, we need to make sure we have covered everything. Okay, so we can continuing on. These are the questions. This is where you come in. Please take a few minutes to answer this super short survey. There are only 2 questions we need you to answer. And of course, this is the most important question. What are your top 2 questions about support resistance that we absolutely need to answer in this course? So right there is, we're gathering data to find out what we need to cover. If there's anything we haven't covered, then we can add bonuses, and we can course correct on the actual product, even though, like I said, this is largely done, but we can still course correct. But also, this will give us information to use in our marketing. It will tell us what the objections are when you ask for these top questions. And then this question number 2 is, what type of computer you use? Please check all that apply. And this was because we were actually sending out physical CDs and DVDs, and we needed to know what we needed to support. But I'll tell you what, asking this question, to me, this wasn't a bad question to ask here, even if we didn't need that information, just because it makes it seem like we're just really digging for more data. It makes the whole thing more real, so to speak. Okay, so moving on. After they answer these 2 questions, then here they click the next button, or they hit the enter button on their computer, and then it comes up with this. Thanks for your response. That's what we needed. If you want to contact us as soon as the support resistance course is ready, just leave your name and email address below. We will not share your email address with anyone for any reason. So here we're just gathering contact information. So this is obviously, the people that fill this out are going to be super, super interested in the course. It's going to be super warm prospect. So just having people fill this out, this entire process, this question, this entire process, in fact, sending out that first email, we can watch how many clicks through came on that. We can watch how many people filled this out just to judge the interest level. We can watch how many people actually filled this out to judge the interest level. So it's super valuable information. In fact, in a second, I'm going to walk you through some of the actual responses that we got. But if people actually fill out their name and their email address here, and these little asterisks, that tells you that we require this information. So at this point, they could have just left the survey. They could have closed this window, but if they wanted to go further, they needed to fill out their information. And if they clicked the next button, then this is what they got. And this is the start of the testimonial cruncher. And this is super, super powerful. So it says, okay, we got it. Thanks, we'll be in touch. One last thing, and this is optional. We have lots of raving fans, but since our support resistance course is brand new and we don't have any testimonial letters from any, I misread that, but since our support resistance course is brand new, we don't have any testimonial letters from any of our raving fans. Perhaps you could help us out with a testimonial for the support and resistance zones that we publish every day. It doesn't have to be too involved. Here are a couple of examples. So here I give some examples. Jeff and Mike, this note's long overdue. Your support resistance zones to continue to be simply amazing. They give me the edge I need as I go into every trading day. I don't think I could trade profitably without them. Here's another one. Thanks so much for your updates. They make me money. Today I was just watching the falling market, wondering when it was going to stop, but after your second update, I jumped into action at your support zone. The market double bottomed off the major support you listed. I bought down there just over your support zone. That's the kind of support level I can take to the bank, and so on. So we give actually 3 examples of these testimonials, and then underneath those testimonials, then we ask for a testimonial. Can you give us a testimonial about our support and resistance zones? If you do, it may appear on our webpage attributed to your name and city. Enter your testimonial here. So what I want to point out here is I want you to think about the psychology here. Well, there's a few things to think about. First of all, we asked for a favor, and people gave us a favor. We told them a little bit up here, a little bit here about what was coming up in the course. We asked for for this feedback, and there's an interesting thing here in that there's a saying that people support that which they help create. People support that which they help create. So when people are actually giving us their questions here, they are in a small way helping create the course. And that's some powerful psychology. They're actually helping you create it by giving you feedback ahead of time. So now they're in a tiny way, they are invested in the course and invested in helping you out. Okay, so then we ask for a little bit more commitment. So this is a little bit of a commitment from them. Then we ask for a little bigger commitment from them. And now we're going to ask for the next level of commitment. Now they've gotten this far. That means they know us. They like us to some extent. Otherwise, why are they giving us feedback? They're interested in us. They have some affinity toward us. And by the way, they have their fingers on the keyboard. They're now answering 2 screens of information. So now we're going to ask them for one more screen of information. And that's to give us a testimonial. And that's why we call this the testimonial cruncher. It's a great way to get testimonials from people that otherwise, if you just send an email out and said, hey, I really, if you love my work, I'm looking for some testimonials. Could you say something nice about me? Send me an email and say something nice. You're going to get more responses using this testimonial cruncher. Another thing I want to point out, this is a brand new course for us. So a lot of people are like, Jeff, this is awesome, but how can I get testimonials if I don't actually have a course? I'm showing you how to do it because we didn't have a course. Now we have been publishing about this topic of support and resistance. We've been publishing about it for a long time. So we didn't get testimonials on the course. We got testimonials on our support and resistance zones. Now you might say, okay, Jeff, that's great, but I haven't been publishing about support and resistance. And in fact, my course is going to be about something different than I've published in the past. Well, in that case, then you can just ask for testimonials about you as a person, you as an expert, you as a teacher. You can ask for those type of testimonials. Now, they aren't going to be as powerful as they would be if it was about whatever your offer will be, but they'll still be powerful. This would have been, if we could have had testimonials exactly about the trading course that we were publishing, that'd be fantastic. But we didn't have any because we had never published a course. It was brand new. It hadn't even been sent to the printer yet. No one had even seen it except for me. And so we went and did the next best thing. Since we can't get testimonials about the course itself, let's get testimonials about the topic that we had been publishing about. So that's exactly what we did. And we modeled, by the way, some very, very great testimonials here, just in case, because you know what? People aren't walking around saying, boy, I want to, they aren't professional testimonial givers. And if they are, then you probably don't want testimonials from them because they're probably not going to be super authentic, and maybe they give testimonials to everyone in the world. So so people aren't walking around being professional testimonial givers. This is how you get great testimonials from them, is by modeling them and dropping them into something like this. Now, I want to quickly show you some of the results we got. So I pulled this straight from SurveyMonkey. So first of all, you can see we got 83 answers. Now, the important thing is I don't have the exact number of subscribers we had at that time, but it measured in the hundreds, not the thousands. So to get 83 responses was pretty cool. So here's just this was to the first question, which was, what are your top 2 questions that we need to answer in this course? And in here, there was just some great stuff in here, just some fantastic stuff. And I just want to point out one here, this number 11, the weakness. So the weakness in your usually great analysis is the concept of stops and their relation to support and resistance levels. So when we published about it, we never talked about stops, which is it's a type of trading tool, a trading order. And so we said, you never talked about that. So obviously it's something we want to cover in the course, and we did cover in the course. But then look at this last sentence. There's nothing more frustrating to get stopped at the lowest/highest tick. So here's expressing a really frustrating circumstance. And that's the type of thing that you can take to the bank. I could actually take something like that and turn it into a major copy point in my launch. I could make it a major, I could make that an entire PLC video. I could make it a sub-headline or even a headline in a sales letter or a sales video. So that's the type of power you get. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, but that's just one example of a super, super powerful bit of feedback you'll get in this type in the shot across the bow. Okay, so here is the answer to the testimonial cruncher. Saying, can you give us a testimonial? Now you remember 83 people went through the prior one. Here, 52 out of those 83 actually answered this question. And some of them are, number 3, 4, or 5ers, no. But if you look through here, and actually one's a no. But if you look through here, there are some fantastic testimonials. Fantastic. I'm amazed at how accurate and important the support and resistance numbers you publish are. I'm reading number 12 down here. To see these numbers at 10 p.m. at night and then see the market respond the way you predicted it might the next day is sure a big help in trading. So as you go through, there's just all kinds of fantastic testimonials in here. And the reality is if you did this and you just got 1 or 2 or 3, it would be super, super powerful. So this is a testimonial cruncher, an amazing way to get testimonials, even if you haven't finished your product.